Welcome to the CA Performance Management version 3.2 video Configure Monitoring. Considering the diversity of modern networks, you cannot adopt a one-size-fits-all strategy for pulling devices and interfaces. Some devices and interfaces need to be pulled at different rates, while others might support different metrics. You may also want to monitor different aspects of a device, such as hard drives and environmental components. A core feature of CA Performance Management is the ability to effectively monitor at very large scale. The product architecture is designed to support up to 4 million monitored items with as few as 8 data collectors. CA Performance Management is designed with the features and flexibility required to handle these diverse monitoring requirements. Monitoring configuration involves 4 different item types: metric families, vendor certifications, collections, and monitoring profiles. The 4 different item types work together to specify CA Performance Management monitoring behavior. This video examines the steps necessary to configure monitoring with CA Performance Management 3.2. First, let's take a look at metric families. Metric families allow you to group the metrics you want to pull from your monitored environment into logical, convenient sets. Metric families are diverse, supplying metric coverage for wide-ranging categories. They are vendor agnostic, allowing the user to administer monitoring in portions and not metric by metric. CA Performance Management ships with a rich set of out-of-the-box metric families. In most cases, the out-of-the-box metric family support is sufficient for comprehensively monitoring an environment. Here, we're viewing the metrics of the interface metric family. Out-of-the-box metric families can be monitored, or custom metric families can be created to cover new technologies or component types. Monitoring profiles, which is covered later in this video, are the mechanism which associate metric families to devices. Next, let's take a look at vendor certifications. Metric families require vendor certifications which determine the values for the normalized metrics. Vendor certifications specify the vendor-specific manner in which raw values are acquired from devices. Vendor certifications define data acquisition and metric calculation for proprietary vendor MIB objects and MIB objects from standard RFCs. Not every metric in a metric family has an evaluation expression in a vendor certification. Support for metrics often vary widely from vendor to vendor or from vendors to RFC specification. Vendor certifications allow you to encapsulate vendor or device-specific calculations on a per metric family basis. CA Performance Management ships with a rich set of out-of-the-box vendor certifications. The out-of-the-box vendor certification functionality enables monitoring a wide range of common devices that exist in the customer's environment. Out-of-the-box vendor certifications can be modified, or custom ones can be created in cases where the out-of-the-box coverage is insufficient. There may be times you want to change the vendor certification priority order for a metric family. Changing the priority triggers an automatic metric family update. If a new highest priority certification exists for a device, it will now be the active vendor certification for the metric family. Changing priority is often done to ensure a new vendor-specific certification containing greater metric coverage takes precedence over a certification, often an RFC standard, which contains base coverage. Now let's review collections. To efficiently pull network devices, the devices must be organized into special groups called collections. A collection is a group of devices to which sets of monitoring parameters can be applied. A set of metric families is associated with each device in a collection. These associations occur when a set of monitoring parameters, which includes the metric family list, is applied to the collection. Each set of monitoring parameters is called a monitoring profile, which is discussed in the next segment. Devices can belong to multiple collections. Collection membership should be determined by the need to monitor devices in a similar fashion. Groups used for report organization are different from collections. The data aggregator comes with a set of out-of-the-box collections. The collections are read-only and are automatically updated as devices are added, deleted, or updated. The out-of-the-box DA collections are used in the shipped monitoring configuration of CA Performance Management to enable data collection without the need to create any custom collections. It is good practice to create custom collections when extending the ship monitoring behavior. Custom collections are created in CA Performance Center and then synchronized down to the data aggregator. Group membership can optionally include the children of managed items and is controlled by a checkbox on the Collectors Property tab. For example, when a router is added to a collection, its interfaces are added as well when this option is selected. Group membership in a custom collection can be rule-based or manually specified. Rule-based membership is generally preferred since this method is dynamic. Dynamic membership update reduces administrative maintenance and is designed to adapt to changes in your monitoring environment. For example, here we're creating a dynamic group with rules to include servers in Boston. Any new Boston servers will be added to the collection automatically, and any servers moved from the Boston location will be automatically deleted from the collection. The rules defining custom group membership offer many flexible alternatives through the use of subrules and conditions. These supply the user with the ability to define the group membership best suited to their organization. Finally, let's take a look at monitoring profiles. A monitoring profile is a set of parameters which comprehensively specifies monitoring and event behavior. Monitoring profiles consist of a list of metric families, a metric poll rate, change detection configuration, and event rules. Collections are assigned to monitoring profiles. Monitoring profiles enable metric polling using specified monitoring characteristics. The association of a collection with a monitoring profile is the key action which sets the monitoring process in motion. The profile settings are applied to each device in an assigned collection. A collection can be assigned to multiple monitoring profiles. Each metric family in a profiles list is associated with each device in an assigned collection. This drives component discovery for each device. Monitoring profiles determine the content and frequency of polled data, event behavior, and device component update behavior. In addition to a collection being assigned to multiple monitoring profiles, a monitoring profile can have multiple collections associated with it. CA Performance Management ships with a set of out-of-the-box monitoring profiles that support many anticipated behaviors. In most cases, where out-of-the-box coverage is insufficient, CA Performance Management allows for the creation of custom monitoring profiles. Custom monitoring profiles can be created from scratch or from copying and modifying an existing profile. You may need a custom monitoring profile to change the polling interval of an out-of-the-box monitoring profile, add event support such as legacy event rules contained within monitoring profiles, add or change filtering on a metric family, or incorporate a newly created custom metric family. You can use filters with custom monitoring profiles to reduce the number of device components that are monitored. Per device component filtering is viewed in the Data Aggregator UI. A device's filter report lists only the components passing the filter for each monitoring profile/metric family pair which contains a filter. You can sort a list of non-filtered versus filtered components consecutively. The network interface monitoring profile is the only out-of-the-box monitoring profile containing the interface metric family. In addition to component filtering, metric filtering can also be used to reduce the database requirements of collected data. Metric filtering reduces the database requirements of collected data by reducing which metrics are stored for a custom monitoring profile. Metric filtering is administered on a per metric family basis with a custom monitoring profile. Metric filtering applies only to metrics collected through SNMP. For more detailed information, click the information bubble in the top right corner to load the product page. From there, you can go to the product documentation, visit CA Communities, or see the learning path.